welcome to Good Nightmare, a podcast where we absolutely, wholeheartedly believe in magic. Today's episode is kind of an introduction to a case that will follow on, focused on the Borley Rectory. So be sure to subscribe and make sure you catch the next episode. Today we'll take a quick look at the controversial investigator who made the case famous. Harry Price was born on 17th of January 1881 in London. He was a fairly exceptional child, and at only 15 years old he founded the Carlton Dramatic Society, for which he wrote plays about his experiences with poltergeists and the paranormal. A lot of this probably feels exactly like our own childhoods, maybe minus founding a society. Price had an interest in the supernatural from a very early age, and this would drive him further in his career, as well as shape his life and his legacy. He would also come up against heavy and sometimes warranted scrutiny throughout his career. In 1908, Price pursued archaeology while working as a salesman and writing for the West Sussex Gazette and Southern Weekly News. His discoveries of clean antiques were often questioned in terms of their authenticity. For example, his discovery of an ingot stamped around the time of the Roman Emperor Honorius, who ruled from the year 393 to 423, was queried. An expert in Roman history declared that the ingot was indeed a fake, determined by its shape and lettering, which had been altered to make it appear genuine. It was definitely not as old as Price had claimed. This wouldn't be his first little white lie, or his last. In 1920, discovering what would be a lifelong passion for conjuring, stage magic, and the paranormal, Price joined the Society for Psychical Research, and in 1922 joined the Magic Circle. He would be involved in debunking multiple cases of fraudulent mediums, having come to know various tricks of the trade by his involvement in stage magic and conjuring. In 1922, Price and his colleagues James Seymour, Eric Dingwall, and William Marriott exposed spirit photographer William Hope. Price had long suspected that Hope had been switching out his plates for others to produce his photographs that showed spirits. To expose him, Price marked Hope's photographic plates without his knowledge, having etched them with a logo that would transfer to any images produced with them. Hope then went on to produce several photographs of spirits, claiming to have used the plates that were provided. However, none of the photos developed with the logo. It was through this scheming that Price was able to conclude that Hope had indeed been substituting his regular plates for others, which would allow him to print upon his photographs the images of spirits. In 1923, he exposed medium Jan Guzik as faking events, stating that the man was clever, especially with his feet, which were as useful to him as his hands in producing phenomena. In his book, Search for Truth, My Life for Psychical Research, it appeared that the medium had been using a very common trick in creating sounds and phenomena throughout his psychic readings using his feet, perhaps moving objects or cracking his knuckles at odd times, which has been done by other mediums. In 1925, Price exposed Maria Silbert for the same. She would also use her feet and toes to move objects during seances. In 1926, Price formed the organization the National Laboratory of Psychical Research as a rival to the Society for Psychical Research. The two organizations would butt heads over the years, each disputing each other's findings. Price claimed that he had in fact been attacked and bullied by Arthur Conan Doyle, a spiritualist and member. And yes, the same famed author who created Sherlock Holmes, who was frustrated with the damage that Price had done to the Spiritualist Society. Price had published a pamphlet that exposed Hope as a fake. Price wrote that Arthur Conan Doyle and his friends, quote, abused me for years for exposing Hope. Doyle had also threatened to have Price removed from his laboratory should he continue to write such, quote, sewage about the spiritualist movement. In other notable names, Price was friends with Houdini, who also worked to debunk or expose fraudulent mediums, and therefore had similar tensions with Arthur Conan Doyle. These attacks on Price's character, albeit some incredibly warranted, given his controversial career, especially involving the Borley Rectory, did not stop or slow Price's momentum. Price became so successful and so well known that he made an offer to the University of London to provide and equip a department for psychical research. The response was a positive one, and the Board of Studies in Psychology accepted the offer. The department was named the University of London Council for Psychical Investigation, with Price acting as honorary secretary and editor. It was kept on as an unofficial board of the university. By 1940, Price's career moved to focus heavily on writing. He produced several books, including The Most Haunted House in England and The End of Borley Rectory. These are two of the books and one of the cases that propelled him to the infamy he is known for now, and are about the case that we'll be covering in the next episode of Good Nightmare. A very strange haunting indeed. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after producing these books and being involved in one of the most infamous haunting cases of our time that death came for Price. Harry Price passed away on the 29th of March 1948 when he suffered a massive heart attack and died almost instantly at his home in Pulborough, West Sussex. He was 67 and survived by his widow. His archives were deposited with the University of London, with whom he had a long-standing relationship. These archives included his correspondence, drafts of publications, press cuttings, photos, investigation notes, and papers relating to libel cases, which is somehow incredibly unsurprising. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that Harry Price was quite the character. If there were ever a chance for me to see his correspondence and press cuttings and even his papers regarding his libel cases, I would love to spend hours perusing them. Have you heard of Harry Price before, or the tale of the Borley Rectory? What do you think? I'd love for you to get in touch with me via social media or email. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at goodnightmare_s or on Outlook at goodnightmare_s@outlook.com. If you want to get in contact directly, it's best to send me an email or DM me on Twitter because I often don't get notifications for whatever reason. Make sure to stay tuned. I have a promo from another one of my favorite podcasts lined up for you, and I would love for you to check them out. Don't forget to subscribe to Good Nightmare before you go so you can tune in to the next episode where we explore the incredible case of the Borley Rectory. Until next time, sweet dreams.
Who stole some of history's most famous paintings from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum? Where is the Lost Dutchman's mine? And how come so many people who go looking for it never seem to come back? Relic, the Lost Treasure podcast's second season, investigates the mysteries behind unsolved artifact crimes and goes in search of lost treasures with very sinister reputations. You can catch all of Season 1 now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and most streaming platforms. New episodes release every other Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also follow me, Maxwell, on Twitter at Lost Treasure Pod. The adventure continues.